Hello, folks. This is an anchored single. And firstly, we want to apologize for we haven't done any recordings, I think, probably in a few weeks, and that is because we are in transition. I have been moving and traveling, and that threw my entire schedule out of whack, and I haven't been able to sort of regain my grounding. But anyway, I just wanted to share in this single a couple of things that I've learned in the past few weeks, like things that I've always sort of known and understand that I need to apply these things to my life, but I don't think it really sort of took hold until maybe like within the past couple weeks, and it's brought actually a lot of peace to me in the way that I sort of go about my days. It sort of keeps me very grounded. It helps me, it draws me in a little bit more to Christ, because it gives me a better understanding of what my life needs to look like. And the thing that I'm actually talking about is is kind of like enjoying or being content kind of on a daily basis. And I can't speak for anyone else. The only thing that I can do is share with you what I've been learning over the past few weeks with this very sort of tight schedule that I've been working with, between traveling and moving, and kind of doing most of this, on my own. What's been happening is like I was telling myself things like, as soon as this transition is over, things will be better. As soon as everything is moved in, I'll be good. As soon as, with other things in my life too, like as soon as, school is done, I'll be good. As soon as my books are completed, I'll be good. And what's been happening is that my perspective just automatically jumps forward. Like my vision, we're supposed to have that vision, right? We're supposed to have a vision of where we want to be, what we want to accomplish in our lives, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's actually kind of a healthy thing to do. But I was focused on the destination, but not in a way that was helping me be more productive. And what was actually happening was a lot of the joy and the peace that I should be feeling in the moment for every day was being kind of stolen because I became like really stressed out in trying to get things done, and it was kind of stealing the joy and the peace that I should have in the moment. And I would go through to the end of the day, like at the end of every day, and I would tell myself, wow, this was a stressful day, this was a tough day. And I'd look back and I couldn't, I reviewed the day and I revisited the things that were causing me stress, and I realized, my goodness, I didn't have to get that stressed out. I never really kind of lose my cool, but internally, things just feel very warped and very tight and very uncomfortable. And I look back on the day and I'm like, the joy and the peace that I should have felt on the day, even though I was trying to get a lot of things done, those things were gone. And so that at the end of the day, I was completely drained and there was really like no joy. And I just kept focusing on these things that I had to do. And on a daily basis, it's almost like I was the destination, like that sort of like destination crisis mode that I get into, where I just tell myself, okay, I'll stop at 9 o'clock or I'll stop at midnight, or I will, as soon as this big thing gets accomplished, I'll be able to rest and chill and relax. And it's not even that. It's like almost telling myself I'll feel better and I'll have that peace and I'll have that contentment when these things are done. So I focus on the destination, but forgetting that I have to live in the here and the now, in the place that I am at the time that I'm living in it. Almost like, people of the world say things like, stop and smell the roses, or you hear things like enjoy the journey. Those are not things that I really kind of paid attention to before, because I'm like, man, you don't know what I'm going through. I want to be done with this journey. I want to be done with this transition. I want to be at a place where I've completed the things that I've wanted to complete. I've reached my goals and I can rest. And I realize that, yes, we have goals. There are things that we're trying to accomplish. There are places that we want to be. But for me, I can't live always looking at the destination and losing sight of what I have in the moment. And it's kind of hard to explain, but for me, what it meant was that that joy and the peace that comes on a daily basis to help me sort of get through the day, I didn't grab hold of those things. I just glossed over them because I was just like, because I kept thinking I have to get to the end of this thing. And there is peace and joy and mercy and grace that is available on the journey, not just at the destination. Our destination, our ultimate destination, is to be in the presence of the Lord in heaven. At the end of our lives, we have something amazing to look forward to. It does not mean that we lose our joy and our peace while we are on the journey, nor does it mean that we abandon our goals, our dreams, our hopes, because we only have eternity to look forward to. You still work towards those things. I think for me, what was happening was I was just getting caught up in the stressful activities of my daily life, of this transition, moving, traveling, working, just trying to get so many things done, studying, writing, doing this podcast. There were so many things that I felt like I had to squeeze into a day and into a week and into a month. And I lost sight of what was afforded to me every day. And it meant that I was going through my days with the weight of the destination hanging over me. I just wanted to get there. And because I just wanted to get there, and that was all that I was focused on, I lost a lot of that joy and that peace on the way. And what I'm realizing is that hasn't been good, because I look back and the vision that I have of myself, looking back on the days where I was trying to get so much done, it's just I see myself just in this wound up, stressful mode of just trying to get things done and not enjoying what God has blessed me with, and relying on Him to help me to get to that, relying on Him to help me get through the day, not, get to the destination that I had set, but not losing sight of what was afforded to me during the day, on the journey. So we are on a journey. It is a journey, but I don't want to live just constantly focused on the destination and then lose the joy and the peace that is a part of that journey, and a part of that, we're constantly on a journey. Our lives are a journey. The ultimate destination is heaven. And although we have set up sort of interim destinations in the form of goals and dreams and hopes and, basically getting things done, getting to where we want to be, if we don't kind of realize that God is with us on the journey, through the stress, through the pain, then all we do is we live in that sort of wound up place of stress and that wound up place of activity, getting things done, and not realizing that there is contentment on the journey also. You can have joy and peace on the journey in spite of what you're going through. This is not to negate the trials, and some of our trials are pretty intense. People are dealing with illnesses. We're still dealing with COVID and the tragedy that has resulted from this pandemic for so many families, for so many people. I'm not negating any of that. Those things are very heavy. They're very serious. They're very painful. And there are times when you're not going to feel any sort of real content, or you're not going to feel happy. I don't know if you not feel peace during those times too. You can feel peace during those excruciating periods or trials that we go through. It's just that don't try to skip parts of the journey because it's so filled with stress. Don't try to skip those parts and constantly look at the destination. And then you look back on your day and you realize that all of your joy and your peace and all of the grace that you can feel from God, you never got a handle on it. You never felt it. You never enjoyed it. You never lived it, because you were so focused on that destination. So that's what I'm learning. I'm kind of learning to just slow down, get things done, realize that God is with me on the journey, not only at the destination, and just not let that joy and that peace be stolen, because those are things that come with being in Christ, and not letting those things be overshadowed or covered or suppressed because I'm just trying to get somewhere, There's just a better way to be, a better way to live. And all of these things are afforded to us because we are in Jesus Christ. Now, do I have any biblical support for this stuff? A little bit. You read Ecclesiastes talks a lot about, just kind of being that kind of contentment. Hebrews tells us to, stay disconnected from like loving the things in the world. And then, First Timothy talks about, having, that there's great gain in godliness with contentment, So, yeah, there is some biblical backup for this. I think that when you live a life of peace and contentment, it's a great way to be light and salt in the world. It's a great testimony for Christ that you're not just losing your cool every single time something happens. And I'm still learning that. I'm sure a lot of us are still learning that. But I am always, I try to be very persistent in sort of attacking, I guess, the theft of joy and peace in my life, and not letting those things be stolen from me, because I just believe it's a great testimony for others, and it's a great way to live. It's just simply a great way to live. For me, it attests to the trust that I have that God will bring me through and get me to the end. I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry I was kind of like rambling. I was trying to, kind of gather my thoughts and articulate it in a way that would make sense and help you if you're going through, if you're focusing always on the destination and losing the blessing that comes, with the journey itself. So I hope it helps. God bless you. Please take a look at our page, our Gospel Carriers page, where all of these little anchored singles and the anchored recordings are kept. God bless you. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave it on the Gospel Carriers page in Facebook, and we will talk to you soon.